So, with great excitement, I announce that this is the end of 30 Minutes with KP. 30 Minutes with KP podcast. This is our final edition. So, season one had 3 episodes, but we're not deviating from the original goal. Remember, the original goal was some consistency. But now that we have a little bit of understanding about how we want to move forward with this thing, we're going to start a new podcast. It's going to be on the same thing. I'm just going to literally change the name of it, get a new, little square. And it's going to be the Turn the Page podcast, right? Turn the Page podcast. Got to start getting that slogan turned down. And I guess the thing that I don't like about that is I'm losing the freeness of communication because it was supposed to be like a real free type deal. But I guess I'm going to be switching over to something more structured. I know initially it'll be, just me talking about different turn the page type topics. But I guess the goal is to start getting regular guests on it. And it's it's gonna be some low budget looking stuff early on. Like, I got a camera and one mic, so just me and another person. We might not be able to sit across from one another because I'm only gonna have one camera recording it. But bring them in my little office. I can slide the camera back a little bit. Boom, slide that back a little bit. I'll be here. Put the other chair there. That person to be there, and we can do some differences and talking. Like, hey, look this way when you talk to the people. Look that way when you're talking to each other. So it'll just be a real copacetic conversation, and I can do it that way with the guests. But we got some structure and direction with how we want to move forward, which is good. I don't know why it's initially hard for me to narrow things down. I typically take a broader approach to situations and a broader perspective on things. So developing more of a niche market, a target audience perhaps, has always been a struggle for me. I guess in the planning phase, that's one of the struggles, because I be wanting to tell people, I'm like, what's your target market? When I started Adulting 101 and people were talking about, what's your target audience? I was telling people, yo, food. What's food's target audience? What's Chick-fil-A's target audience? People. Because everywhere I got to eat. And I felt like my information was for everybody. But I had to narrow it down. So what I learned in Adulting 101, my target audience, my target market is not people. That is not my market. My market is our market. Adulting 101's market was organizations that help people, right? Organizations that help people. I don't want people, I want the organization. And part of that was building up the demand of people. I get enough people wanting and building that up, going in and getting contracts and adjusting. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about our junior Shark Tank we're about to start doing. So excited about this. It's going to be bomb.com, right? But, the target market, and even having a niche audience. And I think throwing this out there, sometimes I think we believe, I was under the assumption that, if I make my target market or my audience too small of a range, then I'm going to run out. No, if I only worked with, and truly realizing this, if I only worked with one age group, not even a group with one age, if I only worked with 22-year-olds, every year I will have a new audience. Every year. If there's 8 billion people, and this is just quick math. If there's 8 billion people, 8 billion, and just to assume that they're all distributed across, 75, we'll call it 70 because some people got shorter licenses. That's 114 million. At any given moment, it's probably approximately 100 million people. Alexa, what's the population of the world?
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the world population today is approximately 8.01 billion.
So yeah, 8 billion divided by 70 years, it's really 114.285 million. We're going to round that down to 100 million. So at any given moment, on average, and just to be more concerned, we're going to cut that in half. Go from 100 million to 50 million. So at any given moment, it's over 1 million people that you could service if you only worked with one age. And I guess this is good that I got to think this out, because you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I guess run with the young adult thing. Run with the young adult and athlete part, because again, it's that's still a large market. That's still a large market. And I guess if I were to be doing speaking engagements, the goal would be, mid-tier goal would be to start landing 1 or 2. 1 to 2. 2 speaking engagements per month. Well, 1 to 2. 1 to 2 speaking engagements per month that are paid speaking engagements, getting up to where I'm charging a couple thousand, multiple thousands. That's what I want my side hustle to be. Just 1 to 2 speaking engagements. But if that's all I'm saying, 1.5, that's 1 to 2. 3 times, that's 18. I'm looking for 18 clients a year. That's a small number. So why am I afraid to brand myself in such a small group? And here's the deal. It'll just be written that I'm in this, age range. But in reality, the content that's coming out, I'm not going to say, oh, this is for this age range as we're putting out the content and material. We're just going to put it out, and it's going to resonate with who it's going to resonate with, because that's what principals do. But let's go after this niche market. Okay, I got it. So that makes a lot of sense. It was cool. It was cool learning that. Today has been a good day. I've enjoyed today. Initially we were off to a rough start. Not a rough start. It wasn't rough at all. It was just, I was kind of frantic when I woke up, and I ended up I actually tried to record the podcast this morning, but then because I was trying to cram too much in today, and I just completely adjusted my schedule, and hence I'm recording the podcast now. And I was just frantic in every which way my head. So you know what I did? I stopped what I'm doing. I got up and I cleaned my room. And I'm so serious. I have a set checklist of things that I do and that I believe other people should do if you feel like your mind or your emotions or your spirit is frantic and going astray. Some practical things I want you to do. I want you to clean up. Wherever your environment is, clean it up. Your room, your office, your living room, the kitchen, the bathroom, clean it up. Like, you need to see order. That's the first. Your car, clean it up. Your trunk, clean it up. And when sometimes, because if you neglect to do some deep cleaning and sorting, you accumulate a lot of stuff, and it's like, oh my God, it's so much. That can be hectic. Something to repeat to yourself throughout the process Everything has a place. So as I'm looking at this great pile of stuff, everything has a place. So I don't have to worry about everything at once. This has a place. Okay, we'll take that to its place. This has a place. Take that to its place. Now, me, I'm typically like, I end up cleaning like every room in the house at a time because, okay, I got a dish in my room and that got to go to the kitchen. And let's say I got a brush or something that I want to take back to the bathroom. Okay, I'm gonna walk with both of them because I got to walk through the kitchen and get to the bathroom. So I'm gonna take the dish in the kitchen, knowing I'm about to go to the bathroom along the way. But I might have it in my, like, whatever it is, like a brush or something in my hand. So after I put that dish down, I still got a free hand. So if I can do something, move this around with this hand, maybe, put this dish in the cabinet or something, I'm going to do that on my way to the bathroom, drop this off in the bathroom. Oh, let me clean up a bit in here because I'm in the bathroom already, might as well. Okay, this needs to go in the laundry room. Okay, walk to the laundry room, but I'm going to walk through the living room. You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to maximize my time in each room. But yeah, looking at it, everything has its place. The practical thing, clean up. Clean up. Number one, clean up. Get your environment together. Number two, go for a walk. I'm for real. I'm so for real. Yeah, I don't know how healing going for a walk is. Just go for a walk. Go for a walk. And just let your mind do what it does while you're walking. If your mind wants to ramble, let it ramble. If you just go blank and have nothing, just go blank and have nothing. You want to challenge your mind's rambling without even challenging it. Say it out loud. Say it out loud. Whatever it is that you're rambling about in your head, say it out loud. It's completely different then. If you're rambling on something in your head, you're going crazy, ruminating about something, say it out loud. Your mind is going down a rabbit hole or something. Say it out loud and see what happens. See what happens. So that's the second one, going for a walk. Now within that, also point 2A and 2/2B, work out. Start exercising. Literally, go. That's why I say go for a walk. That's the easiest thing to say, but in reality, go to the gym. Work out. Do something. You don't know how to work out? Go to Planet Fitness and just get on the machine. Like, just look at what other people are doing. TikTok, beginner routine for gym. Go to the class, like, just go to the gym. Go to the gym. Number 3, eat some vegetables. Eat some vegetables, some vegetables, some vegetables. Eat some vegetables. Get some healthy food in your body. I need you to get some green vegetables. I need you to get some green crunchy vegetables. I need you to get some green leafy vegetables. And then I need you to get some colorful vegetables. I need you to get some vegetables that grow off of trees and stuff. I need you to get you some root vegetables that grow in the ground. Get you some vegetables in your body. Get you some fruit in your body. I don't care what kind of fruit. All fruit is, go beyond the banana. Go beyond apples and bananas. Oh, but I mean, you ain't gonna go wrong. Apples, banana, oranges. I hate the taste of blackberries, but I love the healthiness of blackberries. Berries are good. Any fruits, get some fruit. Get some vegetables, fruit, some real protein, some salmon, shrimp, chickens. Get you some lean meat. Take you a good dookie. Throw that in there. Take a good dookie. Drink some water, sit down somewhere. Get you some rest. Do those things and see how you start feeling. Then after that, phase 2. Go volunteer. Go volunteer somewhere. Go volunteer. I prefer to say go volunteer with the homeless, but every nonprofit needs help. Every organ. Go volunteer. Go to an old people's home. Spend some time with some old folk in a home and talk to them, ask them questions, and listen to what they got to say. Go to I volunteered at a dog shelter once, which was an amazing experience because it was a woman. Her name was Miss Kasha. I'll never forget. This woman ran a dog shelter because she just loved dogs. She had like scoliosis and it hurt her to walk, but she took care of them dogs. Like that was what it was. So go volunteer somewhere. You'll learn something because most people that do nonprofits and stuff, it's like a labor of love for them. So yeah, go to church. Go to church. Find you a church home. Go to church. Get your spirit right. Or if you don't believe in God or you're like extra anti-religious, go to community. Go to a place where you can be amongst other people. It don't matter if you think you're like them or not. Just go be amongst other people. Go be amongst other people. Get some sunshine in. And then those some practical things. It'll make a difference. So of course there's some things you can immediately do in the moment, and some things that take a little bit more time. But there's some stuff you can do right now. Go clean up. It'll immediately change it. Now, here's one thing that I think is cool. I'm also I'm also gonna start a YouTube channel, and I guess initially, I'll put all my teachings and stuff on there. But now, I get to start digging into some of these subject matter things and start talking about that. And I guess the goal is 9-minute videos and structuring those. So I guess I can just pick a point. I guess I always follow the same structure. I can pick a point because I got a whole list of topics and bullet points for it. Pick a heading and then go in depth on 3 of those points. Boom, right there. I can take my first book, Success Under Construction, and that book I never published, the Going Deeper part. I can just start talking about those deeper concepts and how they relate to, moving forward. So there's a lot of content that I can start putting out. And I guess, Sundays do the podcast day, and it'll be easy if I put out one YouTube show a week. Can I record 3 days a week? Can I record Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and put something out once a week? Hey, that's the goal. We're gonna see. Remember, we're doing all this for a reason. And we'll see. Starting slow, starting small, starting slow. But hey, let's have some fun. It's cool to know that this path that I'm walking down, it's like work and things that I've been doing prior to this moment. It's like, yo, I'm glad you wrote stuff down. I'm glad you thought things through. I'm glad you recorded some ideas, even if you didn't release them out into the world, you got them documented, and now you're in a position to go back and draw upon some of those things. It's not like I'm building a car with no materials. I'm not walking in an empty garage having to go acquire each raw part or piece. No, I'm walking into a garage that has, the frame and a whole bunch of pieces sitting around. So now it's just about getting the direction to put these pieces together, learning which pieces I need to throw out, which ones need to be replaced, what I got to go get out and get, and having this beautiful, well-ran machine. So that's cool. That's cool. I guess the reality of it is, all of this stuff I'm putting out deeply get into the mindset it's not about me. Because I wanted this first podcast to be all about me, and that goes away. And I mean, truthfully, the first one was kind of like that. Last week, I went into a long thing, which, oh my gosh, okay, that's crazy. I did that whole podcast on AMP, and people are really missing out by not, diving into that one. But, I did that whole conversation, and that literally outlines, tangible, actual things that I was doing. Because it is tangible, actual things that I was doing, and getting, feedback from players and past young people I've worked with. So it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. I got this, and I'm about to kill it. I'm about to kill it. It's about to, yeah. Because, I mean, if I speak to the young people, one of the things I like, so one of my players, what he said to me was, you talk to us like we were men. And one of the things that I realized about working with young people, quit talking to young people like they're kids. I know their age is a kid, but quit talking to them like they're kids. Talk to them like they are adults. Of course, temper it. It might be some vivacious conversations that you don't have, or certain references that don't, they're not going to get. Talk to them like they're adults and let them tell you the part that they don't get. Because the reality of it, I realized this, especially after COVID, you realize that young people, after going through COVID, like, they dealt with a spontaneous life change, dealing with a global pandemic, immediately thrust out of school. That was traumatic for a lot of them. Sports just ending. That's a huge, like, socialization is big for teens and young people. That was all taken away instantly. Not to mention, in the midst of that, and I'm just talking about American kids, in the midst of that, also dealing with the fear of school shootings, like mass shootings going along, but they're literally dealing with the threat that someone can come into your school and start shooting. Because it's happened at elementary schools, it's happened at high schools, middle schools, collegiate campuses. So if a kid ever had a fear or anxiety, like, that stuff is real. And then we also know that there's schools that have a high crime rate in the school where that's a reality for them. So it's like, they're dealing with adult situations. They have parents that are on drugs. Some of these kids are being, molested and abused. Some of these kids have been neglected and don't, are not receiving the parental love that they deserve to have. These are adult issues, yo. These aren't like little kid stuff. These are like adult problems. So if they're dealing with adult problems, why are we talking to them like they're kids? Even realizing this with football players I was coaching, like, they wake up in the morning, 6, 7 in the morning, come to school, be in school for 6, 7 hours, get out of school, come to practice. And in school, they're going to have 4 to 6 classes, depending on the school, 4 to 8, 3 to 8, whatever, how it's set up. Different classes with different requirements, different things to know, protocols. Then they're going to come to football practice, and I expect them to know the plays and understand defenses and all of this stuff. That's a lot. That's a whole adult schedule. Why are we talking to them like they're kids? And I'll even dare, when you get down to like 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds, talk to them. You talk to them like you would talk to teenagers to a degree. But, like, just whatever you think a kid's capacity, emotional or mental capacity to receive a particular topic is, then that's just, don't do that to them. Don't do that to them. Yeah, like, talk to kids like they're adults. That was one of the bigger things that I pulled out of it. For sure. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to going forward with this. I'm looking forward to going forward with this. Going forward with the new path and the new podcast. It's just, like I said, a good feeling watching things come together, watching a catalyst for change, watching different things appear and show up like that. Just, you make a change in life and you watch that it's not completely new. Like I said, it's not an empty garage. There's a whole frame with this thing too. It's a good feeling, yo. I encourage you to do stuff. I've always been that way. I've always encourage people to just do stuff. A lot of times we wait so long to do something, analysis paralysis, as one of my mentors, Carl, was saying, getting analysis paralysis, thinking too much, trying to, figure out how to make something perfect instead of just jumping in and doing it. You just got to do stuff because the reality of it is you can change. I think it was like, Samsung? People know them for phones, but they like made washing machines and stuff. Amazon, they originally just did books. You know what I'm saying? Like, people pivot, people make changes. And while you're waiting to do something perfectly, you're missing out on valuable learning experiences. Because no matter how perfectly you plan something, it's not going to go perfectly, especially the first time. Especially early on in the beginning, it's not going to go perfect. It's not going to go well. There's going to be mistakes made. There's going to be plenty of opportunity to learn. And being honest, if something goes significantly well on the first try, probably had a great deal of luck. Probably had a great deal of luck involved with it, or some things outside of your control. Of course, you got skill and stuff, but you need time to develop, and you're only going to develop through experience, and you got to try stuff. You got to do stuff. You have to do stuff. What did you actually do? What did you actually do? What has actually happened? What is actually taking place? What tangible, practical thing have you done? What tangible, practical thing are you doing? These are the kind of things that's required if you want to have any progression or movement in life. Like doing something. No matter what, you gotta do. You gotta do stuff. I guess falling back on that right now, that first podcast, but I'm big on that. Like you gotta do something. You got to try something. You got to put yourself out there, and y'all getting to walk with me through this experience. Walk with me through this journey, and I guess this is gonna bring validity to the brand. Because Turn the Page is literally all about life transformation, right? Turning the page to a better life, different thing. So all about life transformation and going through that process, I got to be a forerunner for it. And different things that I'm going through. I've always had change. I can remember the paradigms in my life as different things have happened, as different change has been thrust upon me. But the thing about now is we're not having the change being thrust upon me. We're taking control of life and we're going to create the change. We're going to force the change. That's the way to go about this thing. You want some agency and control in your life, learn to start controlling the change instead of having change thrust upon you. Don't let change choose you. You go ahead and choose the change. Because if you let change choose you, it's going to throw you in the whirlwind. You're not going to know. But if you go ahead and choose the change, you're going to be constantly in the change motion, right? Choose your change. Choose your change. Don't put yourself in positions to let the change choose you. Choose your change. What are you going to change? What are you going to change? Not even a threat of it. I mean, it still is. Like if you don't choose to change and you stay the course of action, that's going to lead you to a certain set of circumstances, and probably in certain areas of your life that's going to lead to a negative outcome, and that negative outcome is going to thrust you into change. You don't have to do that anymore. You can choose your change. I'm choosing my change. I need you to choose yours. Farewell, 30 minutes with KP, and next week, starting that Turn the Page podcast. I'm excited who is going to be a guest. Am I going to have a guest the first time? We're going to find out.